How much carbohydrate should I eat? That's a question I sometimes get from patients who are wanting to move towards a lower carbohydrate diet to reverse their prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. Now, how much carbohydrate? It will vary for everybody. There's no exact science to it. However, the reason the term low carbohydrate diet exists is because for the last few decades, or the past few decades, we've been eating a relatively large amount of carbohydrate in our everyday life. So breakfast has consisted of basically starchy carbohydrate and not much else. Breakfast cereals, toast, etc. Lunches have been sandwiches and sometimes a chocolate bars and crisps. Evening meals have been based on a large portion of potatoes or rice or pasta or bread. So we've been eating this very high carbohydrate diet. So a low carbohydrate diet is a lower compared to that. Now, the agreement across the world is probably a low carbohydrate diet is less than 130 grams of carbohydrate a day. And that's about half to a third of what the standard diet involves. However, that might still be too much for some people. And for some people, it might be that the carbohydrate intake needs to be reduced down quite significantly more. This is obviously very personalized depending on a number of factors. But for some people, it might be, well, instead of having 4 potatoes, have 1 small one. Or for some people, it might be, well, don't eat any potatoes. And this will depend on their personal physiology, their biology, as well as their personal preferences, what else they're doing in their life, and what they're trying to achieve. So it is very personalized. So it is slightly difficult to say to somebody, this is how much carbohydrate you can eat. However, as a general rule of thumb, starting with less than 130 grams is usually very doable for most people. Less than about 70 grams a day, if you're going to measure this stuff, usually see success for most people. And there are a few people out there that you don't see success until they get it to less than about 30 to 50 grams of carbohydrate in a day, which is quite low, and people have to be very vigilant about what they're doing. So that's the how low should we go as far as carbohydrate goes that I share with my patients. But actually, it's a case of doing something. What happens? What have I been eating? Is the patient achieving their health goals? And if not, which way are we going to nudge the diet for the next coming weeks to get the results that they want to achieve?